Hi there, welcome to Tarotland Soap Opera. I'm going to do a tarot card reading for Leo energy. And the top row is going to be high vibe Leo energy. The bottom row is going to be kind of more worldly focused, shadowy Leo energy. And we all have a dualistic nature. We all can have fear and insecurity. It's just, are we willing to love ourselves, believe in ourselves so that we can move forward trying to manifest our dreams into reality? Some people are definitely doing that. Some other people don't want to do that. And they've chosen to maybe make their life more about being defensive and more about their worldly focus, making their life more about money or materialism. Could be a battle going on within yourself, within others. If you're a Leo sun sign or you're cross-watching for a Leo, listen to your intuition about who in your life seems to harness high vibe energy, who seems to harness more shadowy energy, and we all harness some Leo energy, so where you're at in the mix. Okay, let me turn the camera down here so you can see the cards. Well, shadowy energy is not revealing much, but the reason for the reading is the King of Pentacles. They could be a Capricorn, but it could be they're more aligned with their Capricorn nature, which is our more worldly nature. They could be motivated and inspired by the world, their ego, more driven and motivated by money and materialism and status and image. But there's some things they don't want people to know about them. For one, they've probably had people who aren't as high hold these energies in a high vibe way leave their life. And they probably harness these energies in a shadowy way, but they don't want people to know that. They want people to view them as like, in the workplace, they want people to view them as like a mature, wise, stable, abundant person. And in relationships, they want people to view them as being a good marriage partner or someone who's like a marriage prospect, because the King and Queen of Pentacles is the only married suit of the deck. But they don't want people to know that high vibe people have left their life because they harness these energies in a shadowy way. So they've had people in their life who probably had mental conflict about being in a relationship with them because they wanted to bring a dream into reality. But in order to bring a dream into reality based on love, you have to see the truth and you have to get out of your ego and you have to believe in yourself and you have to put an end to your more self-centered, egotistical, all about me ways of being. And some of these people weren't willing to do that, because they are kind of all about looking like a shining star in the world. They are all about moving forward in their emotionally defensive, egoic nature. And they could think that when they get in a relationship with people, it's really more all about them. They're all about their wants, their needs, their lusts, their greed, their pride, their ego. And to get in relationships with people, so long as it's good for their ego and their image, they'll get in relationship with those people. So long as those people are kind of indulging them in their ego and maybe don't see the truth about them yet and see that they are someone who could have a lot of mental conflict about getting out of their more egoic view of life or worldly view of life. Until people see the truth of who they are, they'll keep being in a relationship with them. And when they get in relationships with other people, if those other people have a dream of bringing a dream into reality where it is about people growing and maturing themselves and detaching from their more self-centered nature and prideful, egotistical, worldly nature, and really be about growing and maturing yourself in love, they want to end relationships with people who are like that. And when they get in relationships with people, they try to stop those people eventually over time from loving and believing in themselves and wanting to really have the dream come into reality, and try to get them to settle for being in a relationship that's more emotionally shallow and superficial. Because shadowy people are more shallow and superficial because they haven't freed themselves from their fear and their insecurity and their immature, indulgent, prideful, egotistical, self-centered way of being. So it is all about them. And so if they get in relationship with people who might be very abundant or stable or loving, then they try to just indulge in the relationship and hope that that person, especially if they become a marriage partner to them, they hope that that person kind of gets caught up in the ego and image of, look how victorious we are, look how successful we are, we made a dream like come into reality, we got in a relationship. Well, now you should put an end to wanting anything more than that. Like, we've got this is good. And then the people start to realize that this person doesn't ever grow and mature themselves in a relationship. This is it. Like, it's like getting into a relationship with someone and you're like 21 years old and you live like a 21-year-old life, and then they want to continually always live like a 21-year-old life and think you should be happy. You can grow and mature yourself, but don't ever expect them to grow and mature themselves. They're happy living life the way they live it. And if they can get you in a relationship, hopefully you'll be in your ego about ending the relationship with them, because it might have stability, it might have security, and your ego's kind of invested in it. And they're hoping that you'll never end the relationship with them, even though you come to realize, is kind of more egotistical, self centered, worldly driven, ego driven, and to boot, they might be people who are unwilling to grow and mature themselves, and they could be emotionally shallow and superficial. You just didn't realize that initially. And they've had people leave their life because they have seen the truth of that. And they don't want the people that they're currently in a relationship with or trying to get in a relationship know that that's why other people didn't stay in a relationship with them. And they're trying to get the next person to move forward with them because it would be good for their ego and their image and their status, and they'd have someone to indulge in, like sexually, male or female. And they don't want the person they're in a relationship to realize that, when we get in this relationship and I get you in it, I'm going to kind of put in work and effort to make you stop loving and believing in yourself so that you'll keep indulging me in a relationship and staying in the relationship because of ego and status and image. Because eventually you're going to find out that I'm not who I said I was. I'm not the stable, grounded, mature person you think I am. I am. So high vibe people left their life who aren't as high vibe Capricorn, high vibe Aquarius, high vibe Leo, high vibe Aries, high vibe Scorpio, because this person harnesses those energies in a shadowy way. They are all about the world, ego, image, status, money, materialism. That's why they get in relationships. They want other people in the relationship to put aside their pride and ego in the relationship, but never them. They operate from their ego nature. They could be very full of themselves. And they could think that people should want to be in a relationship with them because they're good looking, they're charming, they're charismatic, they have social clout, they have money. For whatever reason, they're kind of self centered and full of themselves. They think if they can get people into a relationship with them, that other people will give up on their own dreams of being in a relationship based on love, because they eventually find out that isn't why this person is in the relationship. But they're hoping to appeal to their egoic, materialistic nature and hope that they'll stay in the relationship anyway and kind of stop growing and maturing themselves. So that's what some shadowy people are doing right now. And some of you could be tempted to want to be in a relationship with someone because you could love them, but you know that this is how they are. But if you were in a relationship with them, you would maybe have that stability and security and whatever, those things of the world, that we all want. But are you willing to sacrifice your dreams to be in a relationship with someone for that reason? Some of you have already ended a relationship with people who are like this. Some people are in the midst of a relationship like this. And what the prideful, kind of egotistical people in their life don't realize is that the loving people in their life are doing this work within themselves to believe in themselves, because they do have mental conflict being in a relationship with someone like this. And they're starting to look at life from a higher perspective. That, do I believe in myself? Do I believe in my dreams? If I stay with this person, it will, by worldly standards, look like I'm victorious and successful, like I've won or something. But am I going to stay in this relationship just because of my ego? I don't want to stay in a relationship because of my ego or my fear or my insecurity or worldly reasons. I want to feel proud of myself. You know, I want to be in high vibe Leo relationships. I want to be with people who are warm and authentic and loving. And I need to get out of my egoic nature to see that my dreams can't come into reality with this person. Our truth of what our dream is different. They want to be in relationships more because of the ego and the image and the status. And I have a dream of being in relationships with people who are authentic and warm and loving. And this person isn't that. So I need to get out of my ego that I had lessons to learn from this life experience and be bold and brave enough to believe in myself and detach from these people and end this relationship. Because if I keep moving forward with it, I'm going to be moving forward with someone who is more prideful and egotistical instead of loving and warm and authentic. And it might look like my dreams came into reality, but it's like non-life giving energy. It isn't based on love. And eventually, am I going to put an end to my dreams for my ego, for my image, whatever? And some of those people right now are doing that work within themselves to get out of a relationship like this. And the people in their life are very full of themselves and think, oh, they'd never want to get out of this relationship because I have status or image, or because I'm so full of myself, or because I'm so good looking, or because they have fear and insecurity, or they're codependent on me. They'll never leave the relationship. And some of those people might be surprised to find that some people are harnessing high vibe energy and they're standing up for themselves. Why? Because they've seen the truth. They felt stuck in a relationship. And they've seen the truth that life is an adventure to be lived. That it's about being happy within yourself, knowing how to fill your own cup emotionally, and moving forward with other people who've seen the truth that life's an adventure to be lived. And it's about loving yourself to fill your own cup and being emotionally independent of your egoic nature. And other people who could want you to stay in a relationship with them, well, they do live more from their mind than their heart. And they want to move forward with you because you are loving and nurturing in your Pisces energy, you know? And it's like, I want to move forward with other people who are connected in with their Pisces energy. Other people who have learned how to wrap their brain around this game of life to offer them self love so they're not living more from their mind than their heart and aren't carrying around all their past pain and heartbreak. I want to be in a relationship with people who have freed themselves from pain and heartbreak, who've chosen love, who will move forward with me in an energy of love, who have also taken bold, brave, creative action to get out of their ego of thinking that, isn't it about getting in a relationship and me staying immature and indulging myself in a relationship, staying in my ego, my more emotionally defensive nature? And the high vibe people in their life are saying, you can go get in a relationship with anyone you want with that philosophy of life, but it just won't be with me. If you still want to live more from your mind than your heart, you still want to be like an immature player and indulge in relationships operating from your emotionally defensive, self-centered, egoic nature, go ahead, but it won't be with me. And what the high vibe people are doing is they're cutting people out of their life who harness these energies in a shadowy way. And the reason why they're able to cut those people out of their life or aligning with those ways of being within themselves is because they've learned to love themselves. They've dealt with some of their past pain and heartbreak, to believe in themselves and believe in their dreams, to not let their ego run their life or their fear or their insecurity and their more emotionally defensive nature. And they're taking bold, brave action to harness these energies in a high vibe way. And that's what some of the people who keep being stuck in their past pain and heartbreak, in their fear, in their insecurity, in their emotionally defensive, egoic way of living life aren't doing. And they can't figure out how are those people moving forward differently. It's because they were willing to cut out ways of being that were shadowy and to embrace ways of being that are high vibe. And it's not all about your ego and how you present yourself to the world. It's about doing the inner work behind the scenes to like love and believe in yourself. Let's go see who the high vibe people have cut out of their life. Maybe a Libra, maybe a Capricorn, maybe an Aquarius, maybe a Sagittarius. Because those people defend thinking it's just and fair in their Libra energy to think life is all about either them in self-centeredness, that people should want to be in a relationship with them because they're victorious or successful or they're attractive or they're charming or whatever, but they're not loving. And they're consumed with money and materialism and status and image, and their life is all about how they present themselves to the world. It's all about presenting myself like I'm victorious and successful in life, operating from their ego nature. And the other people are willing to cut people like that out of their life. And these people aren't willing to cut people like that out of their life. And they're not willing to cut out that egoic, defensive, worldly way of being out from their life. They're unwilling to detach from that. They keep defending it. And it's like, well, you can keep defending that view of life and being full of yourself and being driven and motivated and inspired by the world. If that's your goal in life, is all about ego and image and money and materialism, then we defend different things. I defend love. And you don't seem to care about love. It's more about you and your ego and your image and your status and people indulging you in a relationship. That's not love. That's you being very self-centered in a relationship. But if that's what you value, then I'm going to cut you people out of my life. And if you want to be in relationships and be a marriage partner to someone because it's good for your ego and your image, and that's what's more important to you than being in relationships with people who are mature and nurturing and loving and look at life from a higher perspective and aren't consumed with the world and ego and image and are more about love, but that's not who you want to be in a relationship with because you're all about ego and image, well, then go get in that relationship. Knock yourself out. I think you have some lessons to learn in life that, if you're not planting seeds of love, you're probably not going to grow a foundation of love. If you're planting seeds of pride and ego and immaturity and lust and greed, you're probably going to get in relationships with other people who want to be in a relationship and stay in a relationship with you because they're motivated by ego and image and immaturity and lust and greed. And you might find yourself in a relationship with someone just like yourself. And I don't know how much you're going to like being in a relationship who is like you, where they could think it's just and fair to get in a relationship with people for ego and image and money and materialism, and then they think it's all about them. And the most important thing is the ego and image that you present to the world, and it really isn't about love. And they could be someone who is fearful and insecure and codependent and immature, who hasn't grown and matured themselves, who might be very egotistical and self-centered too, and they like everybody to make things about them. So then we could have two people who want to be in a relationship who are both defensive to being authentic and warm and loving, who got in a relationship more because of fear or insecurity or codependency or image or status. And now we have two people putting in work and effort because they want to look victorious and successful in the world and trying to balance out their emotions that they're defensive to love. Well, I hope that works out for you. I don't think it's going to work out very well. And I've done the work within myself to get balanced about that, to realize the truth that some people live their life like that. And that's what they're driven and motivated by. And I learned the lesson I was meant to learn from that people have different dreams in life. And I don't take it personally that someone who's like that doesn't want to be in a relationship with me, because we have different dreams. I've healed from past pain and heartbreak to not be so driven by my ego. I think my worth and value comes from something more than what I own and what I wear and what kind of relationship I'm in or how much money I have. And you still make your worth and value based on how people perceive you. And you haven't done the work to grow and mature yourself, but I have. And I've healed from past pain and heartbreak. And I'm not going to be in my shadow energy like you are, that imprisons me and enslaves me and restricts me and confines me from having my dreams come into reality. And I haven't given up on my dreams. And I'm balancing out my emotions about all of this, and I'm listening to the divine to guide my steps about who I should and shouldn't invest in and invest my time, energy, and effort into and share my dreams with, because I don't want to repeat a pattern of getting in a relationship with someone who's defensive to love. And I believe that if I quit investing my time, energy, and effort into people who are defensive to love, and I deal with the pain and heartbreak of that, and I move forward being emotionally independent of my own egoic nature that could tempt me to stay in a relationship with people who are like that, to love and believe in myself, to be emotionally independent, to love and believe in myself, to be bold and brave, to move forward in my life, to maintain balance within myself, to take the lessons I've learned, to believe in myself, and I'm patient and I stand up for myself and what I believe in. I believe that the divine, that when I align with that energy within myself, those are the type of people I'm going to invest time, energy, and effort into, not people who aren't on that same page. And my dreams will come into reality because I'm not investing time, energy, and effort in my fear, in my insecurity, indulging other people who aren't on the same page as me. And I'll be investing time and energy and effort into people who are on the same page as me. Other people who harness high vibe, Libra, Capricorn, Aquarius, Sagittarius, Leo, and Gemini. And those are the people I will be investing time, energy, and effort into. And those are the people I'm going to stand up and defend in my life, not the people who I used to think were just and fair and loyal and committed and looked at life from a higher perspective, to find out that they really didn't. That was just an illusion. It's how they present themselves. You know, the kings in tarot, it doesn't refer to a man. The kings in tarot just represent how we take action in the world, and we all take action in masculine energy because our more emotional, intuitive nature is like our hidden realm. It takes time to get to know the truth of who people really are internally. People can present themselves any way they want. We can take jobs and get in relationships with people who present themselves as being very stable, nurturing, grown, mature. I'm not prideful. I'm not egotistical. I'm not self centered. I'm not defensive. I don't operate from my ego. I'm not fearful of being vulnerable and loving. And then you find out the truth that they are, that that's just like a social mask that they wear to the world to try to get people to get in relationships with them. And then they hide the fact that, oh, really, I hide the fact that I think it's just and fair to get in relationships, and then, because it's good for my ego and my image, and I'm just balancing out my emotions about the fact that I'm in a relationship with someone. Well, I'm really actually defensive, and I am emotionally defensive to being authentic and warm and loving. But if I can get you in the relationship, I'm hoping that you'll just balance out your emotions, that you ended up finding out you got yourself in a relationship with someone like that. And because you're kind of in your ego and you wanted to have this dream come into reality, that maybe in your ego you'll keep defending me in a relationship and just moving forward in this illusion of how wonderful everything is, when you find out you're in a relationship with someone who harnesses more shadowy Leo energy. They're manipulative, they're fearful, they're insecure, they're prideful, egotistical, self centered, or whatever. and they want to be indulged in a relationship, being in their whatever their issue is and having the scales tipped in their favor, and they really don't want to do a just and fair and open, honest, authentic, loving relationship. And they thought you'd keep defending them forever. And some of those people some of you already left relationships like that. Other people are just letting go of relationships like that. And they're standing up for themselves. I deserve to be in relationships with people who make the free will choice to choose love. I choose to be open and honest and authentic and vulnerable and loving. I choose to be just and fair. And in order to do that, though, they have to have healed from their past pain and heartbreak that make them defensive anyway. Or they have to see the truth that they maybe are more aligned with their worldly, egoic, materialistic nature, and they don't really want to move forward in loving relationships if they don't believe they can manifest their dreams into reality. And if you're kind of not indulging them in their ego, they have to be willing to see the truth. They have to turn their back on thinking that it's just and fair to be in relationships being defensive. That it's about looking at life from a higher perspective. It's seeing the truth. That my egoic nature and my mind and my fear and insecurity has kept me in prison, fearful of love. And that's why I've defended living my life that way. They have to see life from a higher perspective and see that it should be where we give a lot of thought and attention every day to, am I being loving? Am I being just and fair? If we want to be in loving relationships, we have to let love be the driving factor in our life, not our fear, not our insecurities, not, well, I've been hurt before. Well, heal about that past pain and heartbreak. Wrap your brain around it. See the truth about the people who hurt you in your past. Were they kind of prideful, egotistical, materialistic, bossy, controlling, self-centered? We've all dealt with people that we wish were loving in our life who didn't choose to be loving in their life. Are we willing to give ourselves the things that we wish those people would have given us so that we're no longer being, because subconsciously I think we'll be drawn and attracted to wanting to be in a relationship with people that are like that, because we have to see the truth. Because some of you could have moved forward with people who do have this philosophy of life or are used to being in a relationship and haven't healed from people in their life who thought it was just and fair, that things were more about them, and they haven't healed from people who are like that. They get in relationships with people and they're not able to move forward with those people because there's some truth about people from their past that they could have loved that they aren't willing to see the truth of. And they're fearful of love. And then they're drawn and attracted to getting in relationships with people who remind them of the very people who hurt them. And they're drawn and attracted to them because they still haven't seen the truth. That the very people and kind of what they love, which is also aligning with their more materialistic, immature, indulgent, defensive nature, and they don't want to detach from that to align with their more loving, intuitive nature, and they haven't seen the truth of that. They could have these illusions about what it means to be in relationships. They're not seeing the truth that they're not being just and fair, that they're being prideful and egotistical and stubborn. Or, they are more worldly driven. They want to be in a relationship with other people who are more worldly driven. And the fact that you're more love driven and you're not caught up in playing the social games like they are, like, let's go out and let's go talk to those people. I know I don't like them either, but because they have this position or power or whatever, we should try to be like best friends with them because it'd be good for our social position in the world. It's not about living your life authentically and going and hanging out with the people you really love and like, who motivate and inspire you. Well, no, you're not good for my image or my status, and you don't have any clout or position. And I'm all about that. And I need to have all these other people like me and value me, because that's where I derive my sense of worth and value, because I have this twisted sense of what's important in the world. Sometimes shadowy people get in relationships with loving people, and they don't like being in a relationship with them because they're not going and playing the games with them that they want to go play in the world. Can't you wear this? Can't you do that? Can't you go talk to those people? Honey, you know, it's all about our ego and our image. Come on. Can't you do this and that? And it's like, I don't care about those things, you know? And then they kind of really want to be in a relationship with someone who is more into all that. So it gets complex, but there could be some people right now. They want to move forward. The shadowy people want to move forward with other people who operate from their ego. There might be someone who they really think their dreams could come into reality with, even though that relationship ended. But for some reason, if they think they were to get in a relationship with that person, they would really have it all. But even though I think with the death card that person isn't in a relationship with them. And for some, it could be high vibe people. If I could get that person who's really loving and blah, 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 to get in a relationship with me, I just need them to quit making their life about love. Some of them, shadowy people, try to manipulate people to do what they want. Some of those people were in a relationship with loving people, but the loving people stood up for themselves. And it's like, I want to do a relationship based on love. I'm going to move forward, believing I can manifest my dreams into reality. And the shadowy people are like, I might want to be in a relationship with you, but I'm not willing to do life the way you want. I'm going to quit communicating with you to bring that dream into reality. And I think you will end up being defensive to loving and believing in yourself. And I think eventually you're going to give up on your dreams. And I think you're going to come towards me and get in a relationship. For some. For others, there might be someone who's just like them in the world. They let the loving people go. And there's a shadowy person who's just like them, who's very ego focused, very image focused, who might have money, who they're waiting for a relationship that person's in to end so that they'll come towards them and get in a relationship with them. So the thing is, some people, when you're in our shadow energy, we're not seeing things clearly. Either our ego and self-centered nature's in the way. We're just not seeing things clearly. Some people might not be seeing things clearly, that loving people in their life and shadowy people in their life might not want to be in a relationship with them. Because if they already did move forward in a relationship with them, they could have seen that this person is all about indulging in a relationship. But they're not just and fair. They don't put in work and effort. They don't, they could be very prideful and egotistical. And even the other people in the world who would maybe like to be in a relationship with them because of pride and ego and image, even they don't want to be in a relationship with them because they're so maybe self-centered. If they're not completely being indulged, like there's no compromise. And some of those people are in their ego about it and not seeing the truth that people aren't coming to get in a relationship with them because of those reasons. Let's see what's coming up for the people who harness high vibe Leo energy, who have left behind some people who harness shadowy Libra energy, shadowy Sagittarius energy, shadowy Pisces energy, shadowy Leo energy. They are harnessing high vibe Libra, high vibe Sag, high vibe Pisces, high vibe Leo. And they're like, no, I am not going to move forward with people who want to indulge in their ego in a relationship with me. I'm going to love and believe in myself. And this is a great card to come out, the Five of Swords. The fives in general can talk about change. The Five of Swords is Aquarius energy. I had a dream that I wanted to come into reality. But I need people to work together with me cooperatively in Capricorn energy. I need them. The only person I can change is me. And if I'm working together with other people who harness shadowy Aquarius energy, the star card, they're all about themselves or they're more worldly driven, I can't change them. If that's the foundation they operate from and that's what drives and motivates them in life, that's what drives and motivates them. I need to see the truth. I need to heal from the truth that some people are motivated and inspired by different things in life. The things that drive and motivate them, the goals that they have in life, isn't to be in just and fair and emotionally mature, nurturing, loving relationships. It's more to get in a relationship where they're indulged or so they look like they're really super victorious and successful materialistically. And that's what drives and motivates them. The only person I can change is me. And to keep putting in work and effort to free yourself to keep from your egoic nature so you don't get in relationships with people who are like that. And to keep taking action in truth and love because you've seen the truth. And I think because you move forward in truth and love and you're not petty and envious and jealous and prideful and egotistical and self-centered, there's other people in the world who have left relationships and jobs and friendships with people who are like that too. And they're going to see that you're someone that they can work with. And the shadowy people is going to cause them a lot of mental conflict because you are working with other people who were willing to change, who are willing not to be balanced. The fives, there's a maximum of 10 in each suit, like the 10 of swords and the 10 of cups and all that. And that's where the fives can talk about balance. I maintain balance within myself. So I'm not living more from my mind and my head, that I'm not more caught up in my fear and my insecurity and my self-centeredness, you know. I put in work and effort to free myself from that so I can maintain balance in my life, so I can keep taking action in truth and love to bring my dreams into reality. And I think you're going to work with other people who have done that. And yeah, it'll cause conflict and mental conflict for the other people in your life who weren't willing to change, who weren't willing to get out of their head and out of their fear and out of their egoic nature. Tell us what's coming up. You're going to change foundations. When you no longer align with, because we all have lessons learned in our shadow nature. When you have learned the lessons you were meant to learn from past life relationships with people, and learn those lessons and change yourself and grow and mature yourself to no longer be caught up in your fear, your insecurity, your more codependent nature that could have been the reason why you were drawn and attracted to certain people anyway, was to learn those lessons to love and believe in yourself and heal. That's when you're able to change foundations. You get on a new page of life, and now you're ready for the next level of life, dealing with other people who have learned some of those same lessons that you've learned in life. And the people who came into your life to teach you those lessons are people who are going to go through their own life experiences, probably with people who came into their life to teach them lessons. You came into someone's life. Anytime you come in, get in relationship with people, there is the choice to move forward in a just and fair and loving manner. But both people have to be willing to put in the work and effort to grow and mature themselves and believe in themselves and to heal. And if you got in relationships with people who weren't willing to do that, you haven't given up on your dreams to be in shadowy energy of like in staying in your pain and heartbreak, being mad, being jealous, being vengeful, being petty, blaming everyone else. You did the work within yourself to move forward in those relationships from a place of love, offering love and encouragement to people. And so you're able to move forward in life and go to the next phase of life to find other people who are on that same page. The people that you got in relationships with who weren't willing to do that work to heal and mature themselves and look at life from a higher perspective, those people are probably in some shadowy energy, probably blaming everyone else for their problems or thinking, you weren't willing to indulge them in their ego, and they're still just in denial that they're full of themselves. So tell us about what the people in shadowy Leo energy don't see coming. Two cards not showing themselves because of the King of Wands energy, which shadowy, well, what they didn't see coming, for one, is that other people would harness high vibe Aries energy to be bold and brave and confident, to let go of past pain and heartbreak, to communicate with other emotionally independent, loving people that I am ready to move forward with you because I also have learned lessons in life and I'm not in my egoic nature, and I am willing to defend you and heal things with you and look to the future. They never thought other people would be willing to do that, and that people would cut out an upside down world and cut out people who want to move forward with them just to indulge in a relationship. You know, they don't want to learn lessons in life. That's what the world card's about. They want to keep moving forward, indulging themselves in the world. And people were willing to cut people like that out of their life. And they never thought people would do that. They thought that, because people might have passion for them or love them, that they would keep willing to indulge them in a relationship. And what they also don't see coming is they might have some people communicating with them and taking action towards them because they harness shadowy Aries energy. They don't want to deal with their past pain and heartbreak and be in relationships with people who are emotionally independent, who love and believe in themselves. And they could have had people leave their life because of that. And they're looking just for this type of person. Yeah, you're the kind of person I want to be in a relationship with. I don't want to be in relationships with people who want me to grow and mature myself either. I don't want to be in relationships with people who know their worth and value. And you might have a lot of things of the world. You might be attractive, you might be charming, you might be charismatic, whatever. But I don't think you really love and believe in yourself. I think you're kind of prideful and egotistical and maybe fearful and insecure and use these things for your sense of worth and value. You're just my kind of person. Yeah, I want to be in a relationship with you. And what I'm hiding from you is that I do not learn lessons in life. That I'm all about indulging myself in the world. So let's get in a relationship. You might think I'm someone who's attracted to you because the fire energy could mean that, like I'm sexually attracted to you. But that's just how I'm presenting myself. I might be coming towards you to get in a relationship because other people loved and believed in themselves and walked away from me, and I'm all about myself. Shadowy Aries energy is it's all about me. My wants, my needs, my lust, my greed, my pride, my ego, my image. You have some things of the world that I like. So I'm willing to take action towards you, like sexually, to get those things of the world. But I probably really don't give a damn about you at all. And why is that happening to them? To try to get them to see it's like, really, is this what you want? Do you really want someone to be in a relationship with you who doesn't give a damn about you? Kind of like you haven't given a damn about other people? Is it really all about ego and image and money materialism? You're going to get someone who's going to be those type of people are going to have someone who comes in their life who wants all those things, was willing to be in a relationship with them for all those things, willing to have sex with them for all those things, but it just won't be love. Nobody's going to be growing and maturing themselves. People might keep themselves emotionally distant. People might be prideful, egotistical, manipulative, deceptive, hurtful, unkind. But if they can get them in a relationship, what's more important for you for your ego and image, right? I'm going to play the part like, oh my gosh, you are the love of my life. And I'll tell everyone that. And everybody will think you're the love of my life. And you'll be in your ego about somebody telling everybody that you're the love of their life. And we have status and image and everything. But it's just that I have sex with you, but I don't love you. And I really probably don't care to hear about what your dreams are, what your feelings are, what you think about anything, really. Because I'm really not in a relationship. It doesn't have anything to do with you. You just have the things of the world that I need that will be good for my ego and my image to make me look like I'm successful and victorious. You're just someone I'm using to get what I want. Do you find that confusing? Yeah, the people you were probably in relationship with before, when you were like that, probably found it confusing. Does it inspire you to heal? Because this is a hurtful relationship to be in a relationship with someone whose whole intention is to try to manipulate you and keep you in a mental prison. Do you like going back into the mental prison, being in a relationship who remind you of the very people who probably made you fearful and insecure about loving and believing in yourself and trusting other people to begin with? Well, you've just repeated a pattern unbeknownst to you, subconsciously, because you weren't willing to do love. So you recreated that exact old type of relationship dynamic. Are you willing to see the truth now? Is the ego and the image and the money and the indulgence, is it healing you? Is it making you feel more bold and brave and confident? Or does it keep you locked in a mental prison? Are you hiding from the world? Are you in a relationship because of the money and the status and the image? So you don't have to be authentically yourself in the world, but you know other people are free, but you're enslaved and imprisoned by your fear and your insecurity and your pride and your ego. You know, it's like no way to live. And the divine, life giving energy is trying to get people to see the truth. And if they don't see the truth when they have loving people in their life, and the loving people are supposed to see that this person isn't aligned with love, I need to believe in myself and go find the loving people. Let them go live their life the way they want. And they'll probably get in a relationship with people who are more like them. And it's to see if they will free themselves. And some of them will never free themselves. We all know people who are pretty prideful and egotistical and self centered, addicted to their ego and their image and money, or lust and greed and all these things that they look to thinking they're living the life, thinking that'll make them happy, but it's not love. Love is what heals us. Some people just haven't learned to love and believe in themselves. And they keep letting people in their life manipulate and control them in their lust and their greed and play on their fear and insecurity to stay loyal to them instead of realizing these people don't have my best interest at heart. My ego nature, my shadowy ego nature doesn't have my best interest at heart. It wants me to stay in fear and insecurity and pride and ego and emotional defensiveness. I need to quit listening to that, and I need to align with my more loving, creative, inspired nature. But some people never do that. They keep aligning with their egoic nature, and they prefer to be in relationships with other people who are in their egoic nature, who have fear and insecurity, who don't ever step out of their comfort zone, who keep living this illusion that everything is wonderful, but nobody's facing their fears and insecurities and growing and maturing themselves. And they keep repeating these same patterns of ways of living life. And other people free themselves and heal. So there you go, Leo energy. I wish you peace, love, and joy, and we will see you next time. Bye bye.